Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Tuesday, August 4th, 2015. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, you had time now to read that TrendsJournal summer edition, History Before It Happens. Please let us know what you think about it, your feedback. I'm getting a lot of positive comments. Again, what's in there you won't find anywhere else, and certainly not all included in one magazine. From science and technology to health to millennials to the markets. History before it happens. And on to the markets. Over there in Asia, well, the Hang Seng and Nikkei are kind of like that. But a good day there on the Shanghai. Yeah, they Shanghaied it. That's right. Late in the day, all of a sudden the market moved up. And you know why? Because China announced more restrictions on short selling. That's right, you can get in a lot of trouble if you think the stock market is going to go down and you want to sell your stocks. How dare you? It's China. It's America. It's one rigged market after another. Remember, they lost almost $4 trillion, and they're doing anything they can to keep propping this thing up, and there is no end in sight. So just a quick review. First, they banned stock sales by major shareholders in grade A stocks. Then they suspended initial public offerings. Then they dumped in, now the number's up to $400 billion to pump up this market. But everything is okay because the market should go up on the news that China's factory activity shrank more than initially estimated in July. Now, this is coming from the Global Times, the Chinese newspaper, contracting by the most in 2 years as orders fell. The final Caixin Market China Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, dropped to 47.8 in July. That was worse than the preliminary reading of 48.2%. The survey showed also that employment fell for the 21st straight month. Profits at China's industrial firms fell 0.3%. And the spillover effect, Taiwan's year-over-year export growth has hit multi-year lows due to collapsing trade with China. You can see where all this is going, but people just seem they don't want to look at where it's going and will ignore the facts and just blame those low oil prices on those Saudis. Yeah, because they don't want Russia to do well or whatever you want to make up. It's commodity prices across the board. There's a global slowdown. And right here in the States, manufacturing in the U.S. cooled in July. We're seeing weak manufacturing growth, said Bricklin Dwyer, an economist at BNP Paribas. So there you got it, one after another, because the other news is that gold prices are down, when I think they should be going up, because of all of this global destabilization. But be that as it may, Puerto Rico defaults payment due on bonds. And it's important to remember that about half of the municipal bonds funds in the United States have exposure to Puerto Rican bonds. But, when do you ever get that guy that got that lion? I'll tell you, that's big news. U.S. oil majors suffer heavy falls. ExxonMobil posts worst quarterly profits since 2009. Chevron racks up $2.2 billion losses. The whole sector is leading to 70,000 job cuts. And then you look at the energy debt. And I've been saying this, and today it's reported in the Wall Street Journal. Energy companies accounted for 15% of all junk bonds sold since 2009, up from 8% in the previous decade. So, everything's collapsing in the oil sector. Profits hitting new lows. All of this exposure. And the markets, well, the markets were down a little bit today and down a little bit yesterday, when they should be way down. And Japan, contraction may not lead to easing. Japan's export volume in the quarter through June fell 4% from the previous 3 months. How about all that Abenomics, huh? How about that record low yen? All of this baloney that cheap currencies increase exports, not if there's no demand out there, and demand is way down. IMF says sanctions take toll on Russia. No kidding. And they're also taking toll on all those countries that are on the other side of the sanctions, that used to sell things to Russia. But let's be really stupid because, hey, the commander-in-chief and the crew just put some more sanctions on Russia. That's right, just yesterday. Hey, those other ones didn't work? Let's use some more. Let's make the people suffer, and we're going to force them Russians to come to the bargaining. Yeah, get out of here. Grow up. Why should they grow up? And the ruble weakens. Again, sanctions. Oil prices going down. And the dollar was also up 0.5% against the Canadian dollar, at a fresh 11-year high for the dollar. One after another. This energy slowdown is a commodity collapse, and it's signaling a global slowdown, and that's why I'm bullish on gold, because I believe there's going to be a calamity, a equity market calamity. But they'll do what the Chinese did, man. They just called it too big to fail, yeah. Or quantitative easing, or Abenomics, or any other
bullshit level, DEFCON 5
that they can make up. So, in talking about the problems with Russia, and now they're degrading their economy even more for a deeper recession, a little story, it's not important. Financial Times. Demoralized Ukraine troops start to lose faith in president. Yep. They're showing how things are collapsing over there, and they got another criminal-in-chief for president. There's no way out. Another failed U.S. policy. Look what they've done to Ukraine. And speaking about failed policy, foreign ground troops join Yemen fight. The United Arab Emirates has sent military brigade to aid fighters, along with the Saudis battling the Houthis in Yemen. Their troops landed in the southern port of Aden in recent days, bringing with them tanks and other armored vehicles. The Houthis acknowledge, this is from the toilet paper, their alliance with Iran, but deny they're acting as proxies. The Obama administration has said that the Saudis are exaggerating the ties between Tehran and the Houthi rebels. So there you got it. This terrible humanitarian crisis, most people don't even know about it. And those Saudis, they had another good day. That's small change over there in Yemen. The Saudis just beheaded another guy bringing the total number of executions in the kingdom. Yeah, the kingdom. Woof! To 110 for the year so far. They got a ways to catch up, with those ISISes. Well, no, it's the other way around, isn't it? ISIS has a long way to go to catch up with them. Our ally, the beheaders and the murderers. And again, Americans are involved in the slaughter of the Yemenis, the poorest nation who's done nothing to their neighbors, not belligerent in the Middle East. You remember that guy Blinken, whatever he is, from the government from Washington over there, saying that us Americans are providing them Saudis with intelligence, the perfect kind of intelligence, the stupid, moronic intelligence that comes from our military as they help murder people in a country not far from you. Oh, and now they're increasing bombings in Syria. That's right, anybody that goes after Americans vetted rebels, whether it's the Syrian government or ISIS, America's going to go in there and attack them. Isn't that wonderful? And of course, going back to Yemen, that Blinken guy, yep, reconnaissance, helping them planes refuel so they could drop more bombs. Yeah. Oh, and supplying the Saudis with more armaments so they could slaughter more. It's wonderful. Peace. Nobody wants to talk about it. Palestinian teenager is fatally shot in protest. This is now the 6th fatal shooting by Israeli security forces in recent weeks. And a kid was throwing rocks. That'll get you. He hurled rocks. Little story here in the New York Times. Israeli justice is seen to be often uneven. Critics say citizens get lenient treatment. Why, of course they do. They is chosen in an apartheid state that no one in this country has the cojones to call, because, hey, look how long it took them to call South Africa apartheid state. You think they're going to call them Israeli buddies apartheid? Again, quote from the paper. Israel and Palestinian critics have long contended that the Israeli authorities treat Jewish perpetrators of violence with kid gloves compared with the harsh measures taken against Palestinian suspects in similar crimes against Israelis. Yeah, like killing a kid for throwing rocks. Why not? Don't forget to send your money there. Hey, did you see that ad that Rand Paul is running about how we have to stand by Israel, on and on and on? Remember, this is the guy that said no foreign aid to anybody until he threw his hat in the ring for the presidential reality show and became a lowlife in his hopes to get up to the top. And serious crews face water challenge. Forest fires are raging throughout Northern California. The Rocky Fire north of San Francisco, one after another, the whole region over there. The drought is real. And we're getting reports from realtors in New York City that some prominent people living in California are heading east. Go east, young man, because this is the 5th year of a drought. And speaking about more stupidity from the Pentagon that's plagued with parasites that love to steal our money and waste it for garbage. The Marines claim their $350 billion F-35B for...
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Yeah, the F-35B horseshit. It's finally ready for service, even though it was outperformed by 40-year-old F-16s and lacks software to fire its own cannons. With peace comes prosperity. With war comes lunacy. And it never stops. Eisenhower warned us. The military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, putting them to work for crap like this, the sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. Occupy peace. Please attend the conference. Be here. Let's change the course of history. Because if we don't, they will. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.